Good morning, and I think I'm in the right place this morning. Last week I actually inadvertently recorded my live from one of my groups, which, caused me a little bit of extra admin to put it into the right place. So sorry about that for anyone who was waiting for my last week message. So today, and actually you could help me by just reassuring me that I am on the right page. That'd be great. Just give me a thumbs up if I'm on the Homeopathy Gives Wings page and you're watching. And if you're watching for the first time, then I am Rebecca and I'm a homeopath. I'm a QTT practitioner. I'm a holistic life coach and natural health advocate. So just come in here on a Monday to share anything really, a tip, a simple practice, something to stimulate all of us in discovering the things that work for us in our lives and the things that perhaps aren't working so well and are maybe keeping us stuck. So if you're joining me live, you're very welcome. And if you're watching the replay, you're equally welcome. And do pop your comments or thoughts, opinions, experiences in the comments below, because I love to hear from you. So today, kind of heading into November and heading into the dreaded Christmas rush, which is a odd way of framing it. Sorry about that. For some of us, it's a rush. And the reason that's in my head is because last week I spoke to a lot of clients, family members, and friends who are starting to kind of rev up and make lots of lists about all the things that have got to be done for Christmas. And it just reminded me that I was in that space too. A long time ago, I was really addicted to making lists. And I kind of felt that I couldn't function without them. It was part of my need to feel that everything was perfect all the time and that I was in control. And list making was very much part of that effort to get every box ticked and, to think of everything and to do everything that I was supposed to do. And now, for me, I have really completely let go of making lists. It's quite rare that I would make a list. And when I do, I'm very conscious now of why I'm making a list. For me, I've discovered over time that most of the really important things happen anyway. And I trust myself to know what the priorities are and to act accordingly and appropriately and in a timely manner. I know that I'm inherently quite organised and quite efficient, and I also really like to feel now relaxed and easy and trusting that things will get done. So that's where I am with lists at the moment. So the times that I do choose to make a list would be if I felt that I had actually made a list in my head and that I was constantly running through it and I couldn't really focus on anything else. And then for me, I need to actively take it out of my head and I need to put it down on a piece of paper, and then I can relax because I know that I can refer to that piece of paper if I get a bit forgetful. And I know that when I was approaching menopause, for example, I did get quite forgetful, and that making the odd list served me very well. What I wanted to encourage this week is for you to think about how you use making lists. Are you somebody who is totally reliant on them? Are you somebody who only makes them to go shopping? for example, or would only do them at this time of year, when you have maybe more things to think about than at other times of the year. Are you somebody that has a kind of ongoing to-do list that you never really finish? You might cross some things off, and that gives you a little bit of a, oh, great, done that. But then you keep adding to it. For me, I recognise that I did have a kind of ongoing list that never really finished. And that didn't serve me very well, because in my head then, I knew that there was this never-ending, ever-growing list. And it meant that I could never really sit down and relax. And so once I actually decided, okay, well, I don't need to write everything that happens to, that's going to happen anyway onto a list, because it just keeps me in a perpetual state of, I can never relax. I can never sit down. There's always something to do. And it kept me in a kind of sort of high alert adrenal state for far too long, and ultimately actually got me quite ill, that behaviour and other things that went with that. So that's what I wanted to encourage this week, is to think about list making. Do you feel more comfortable, more relaxed, more in control and able to relax when you have a list on the go? Or is it actually counterproductive? Can it be feeding that constant feeling that you can never relax because there's that list that you've got to get through? How do you feel when you tick things off? Because it can be really satisfying to go, great, I've done that. And how do you feel when you can't tick things off? Do you beat yourself up? Or are you quite relaxed and calm about it, and you know that it's going to happen? Or do you just start another list, which is what I used to do? So, yeah, it's the time of year when we're pretty busy as women, I think. Most of the kind of planning and arrangements for Christmas seem to fall on women's shoulders, not exclusively, not by a long chalk, but mostly, in my experience, it does. So list making might be uppermost in your head at the moment. So I just wanted to encourage a little thought process around, how is that serving me? Is it serving me, or is it keeping me perpetually on a kind of must go mode? Oh, good morning, Marion. And Marion's saying, I keep getting things done and taking them off the list. I don't write them down. I'm quite relaxed and don't worry. That's fabulous. That's great, because, lists can be incredibly useful tool, particularly when they take things out of our heads so that we're not constantly thinking about those things. So if that's what it's doing for you, Marion, then that's fabulous. Thank you for sharing that. Does anyone resonate with what I used to be addicted to in terms of lists, or is it something that, in fact, you find very, very useful and a great tool for you to get through a lot of things? Or do you trust that they're going to happen anyway? One thing I was thinking about actually for this time of year is that pretty much it's kind of the same every year. Every year we do the same kind of things. We know what needs to be done and what doesn't need to be done. And hopefully we know how we would like Christmas to feel, and how it's an opportunity to relax and have fun and be with your family, hopefully. Whatever you want from it, how do lists feature in that? Are they helpful or not? So yeah, do pop your comments in the thread below. And if you want any more information about working with me in any capacity, then do click on the link below this video, and have a wonderful week and make those lists work for you, or toss them in the bin. And actually, what I should just end with is I found that having lists for very specific projects, and then when that's completed, throwing them away, ending them in some way so that they're not going on and on and on and on, can be very productive. That can be just as satisfying as ticking off those individual things. So it draws an energetic line under it, and you're not having that kind of energy thread that possibly continues with chastising you about maybe the one thing you didn't do for some reason. So I hope that's helpful. And yeah, have a wonderful week. Thanks very much for listening and watching. Bye.